Hello and welcome to December Days for the 2nd of December with me, Wayne Clarke. I'm pastor at Trinity Baptist Church in Gorton in Manchester, and each day I'm bringing you a thought from the Bible, just something to have as a little Advent calendar through these days of December, but without chocolate. Our word for today is IMMANUEL, which means God with us. It comes from the same verses that we were looking at yesterday, Isaiah chapter 7, verses 14 to 16. Let me read these to you as they come up on the screen. The Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and call him Emmanuel. He will be eating curds and honey when he knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right. For before the boy knows enough to reject the wrong and choose the right, the land of the two kings you dread will be laid waste. We saw yesterday that this promise was made by God through the prophet Isaiah about 750 years before Jesus. It was a promise to Ahaz, the king of Judah, giving him confidence to trust in God against his military enemies, that a child would be born. And before that child was very old, the enemies who were besieging the nation would melt away, would no longer be a threat to the nation that Ahaz was fearing. That fear, that panic would be gone. But like a lot of prophecies, this has a fulfillment in its own time and for a time to come. It was a word for Ahaz, but it also looked forward to a greater saviour. And of course, that's Jesus, the saviour who would be born to a virgin mother. Isaiah spoke better than he knew. A greater sign and a greater saviour was going to come to the land of Judah. And this child would bear the same title as the child who Isaiah spoke of in his own time, the name Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. God had been with his people through the years to protect them. God was with Ahaz and his people. But most of all, God's promise of being with his people comes about in the birth of a child called Jesus, who is the final and complete revelation of God, through whom God has spoken completely. Jesus, who is the Son of God, who is our Saviour when we put our trust in him, who is forever God with us, our Emmanuel. We can know he is with us when we have faith in him and trust in him day by day as God who never leaves us, God who is with us. This God has not left us. By faith in Jesus, we can know him with us now. In the restrictions that many of us are living under at the moment, we may feel trapped and isolated. Perhaps you feel lonely and threatened. But you can know Emmanuel. You can know God with you because God has stepped down to save his people. God has reached down into our time and space. God has come to give us peace. God has come to be with us. These December days, that's a promise made all those years ago that we can hang on to now. God bless you. See you tomorrow.